I have never seen so much desperation for people trying to get jobs. I have seen endless lines of posts and threads of people on the verge of mental breakdowns because they just cannot find jobs, they cannot find internships. They've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on university just to have no opportunity to even get to the interview stage. And I think this is ultimately happening for a few reasons. I think there's not enough jobs for the amount of people, but I think one of the biggest things is that university no longer prepares you for work in the way that it once did. It's not designed to get you relevant skills, it's just designed to extract money for you. I can say personally, from the internships that I've had, from the internship I'm currently working, a small fraction of what I've learned actually transferred. Honestly, it's really just the intuition and the soft skills that I've built around software engineering, how products are made, how processes work, and stuff like that, rather than actually knowing how to write, for example, Python or Java, or how to do databases with SQL. I really don't feel like a lot of those skills really transfer over, meaning university really doesn't prepare you for the job market. And so when you think about it that way, of course you're not able to get a job. When you have hundreds of kids applying for these internships, all of whom are from the same degree or equivalent degrees, all of whom have done the same assignments that have been recycled for decades, there is no differentiating factor between them. Everybody's the same. Nobody's competitive. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. They haven't thought about it that way. And so I want to share that today, where I want to share who your actual competition is with these jobs, because I've met your competition. I am working in an internship alongside these people, and I'm going to tell you exactly how they got their job, exactly who they are, and ultimately exactly who you need to be. So I'm going to tell you straight, these people are some of the brightest, most extremely hardworking people I have ever met in my life. These companies get the cream of the crop in terms of talent and in terms of intelligence. The majority of the students that I have met at my internship are either the executives at clubs, or they have grinded leak code relentlessly, or they have a stacked GitHub portfolio, or they know somebody, or they are also doing other work on the side, stuff like research work, stuff like what I'm doing, where they are so valuable that their professors have gone to them and proposed work for them. So these people ultimately end up working two jobs where they're going to the 9 to 5 and then they come home and then do the research work on the side. And of course, this research work is usually very advanced stuff, so it just speaks to the level of intelligence that these people have. So ultimately, those are the differentiating factors. These are the people you're competing against. And so the question is, how can you raise yourself to that same level? Well, today I'm going to share how I've done that and how I plan to continue doing that, because the competition gets fiercer every single year. So the first is to build your professional network. You need eyeballs on you. This is an attention economy. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Sales is life. Think about it. In the interview or on your resume, you're selling yourself. When you're running a business or trying to get a promotion, you're selling yourself. When you're applying to school or getting into competitive programs, you're selling yourself. It's all about sales. So you need to orient your entire worldview about how you can sell yourself to others. It doesn't matter whether you're selling a product or yourself. You need to understand what people are looking for and how you can provide it. For example, if you're applying to an IT job, the business doesn't care that you worked in a restaurant. The business doesn't care that you worked as a clerk at a grocery store. They don't care about that. That's irrelevant experience. They gloss over that. But what they do care about is, were you a team leader at these jobs? Did you facilitate excellent customer service at these workplaces? Did you help to drive sales by a certain percentage? It's things like this. It's not what you did at these irrelevant jobs. It's what skills can you transfer over to this new job that the business cannot afford to refuse. Furthermore, you need to attend networking events. It's not about going to networking events and begging for jobs, but it's about knowing people who can get you jobs. Because based on my experience, the industry is very, very tight-knit in IT. Usually you are 1 or 2 degrees of a connection away from someone who can get you a job. So that means that you need to expand your reach. And I'll tell you something interesting. I have about 600 connections on LinkedIn, and I have over 130,000 second degree connections. So that is the power of LinkedIn. It can connect you to an expansive network, potentially your whole city, where people can have eyeballs on you and people can refer you. Because there are a lot of students at my internship who networked their way in, who have spoken to the executives and have gotten a backdoor into the company. You need to find the person who can get you into the company. Cold applying is like the lottery. You are 1 in a million if you're actually able to get that when there's thousands of other cold applicants. The other thing I want to talk about is building out your portfolio, because these kids who have gotten these research jobs, these kids who have gotten these actual internships, they have stacked experience. They realize this very simple fact. You don't need to be in shape to start in the gym. You're not going to hit a home run if you never pick up the bat. That's something a lot of people fail to realize. You don't need to be ready to start. You just need to start. It doesn't matter that you don't know all the frameworks off by heart. It doesn't matter you know all of the programming languages. It doesn't even matter if you've worked a relevant job before. It just matters that you start building the experience for yourself, because it shows initiative, because it builds skills, it builds discipline, and it teaches you that there is a world beyond your course assignments. There's a world where you can start building and contributing. Because as Steve Jobs said, everything in this world was made up by somebody else. Some crazy idea that they turned into reality. So you need to adopt that mindset. You just need to start building. You have enough skills already. Whether or not you know a programming language, that doesn't stop you from watching a few tutorials and trying something out on your own. Building something that you can use in your personal life. Building something that automates something that you find to be very boring and irritating. And the other thing I want to talk about is academic performance, because I think I found the only reason why you might be a tryhard in school. It's for the research jobs. These can be your ticket into the industry, because professors recognize students who have 4.0 GPAs. They recognize students that excel and go above and beyond, and they are very, very happy to offer their grant money to students to do research to continue their growth. That's what I did. I made a very good impression on some of my professors, and they were the ones who reached out to me for the work. I did well in their classes. I asked questions to them. I went to their office hours. I built a relationship with them. And it doesn't mean you need to be friends with them, but they need to be aware of you and what you're capable of. Then, just like me, they can reach out to you. They can offer you these jobs. And when they happen, do not say no. It doesn't matter if you feel ready. It doesn't matter if you know what the research is about. You just need to say yes, because these are your tickets into the industry. And the more you stretch yourself, the more you can grow. It's just like in the gym. You need to push yourself a little bit further each time if you want to grow. If you do what's comfortable, you will never become stronger. And so I'm going to share a bonus topic as well, and that's me starting my own business. And I think that's the kind of mentality that a lot of these kids have, is they do not shy away from the hard stuff, just like me. I'm starting a business, and recently I did some market testing where I spoke to some potential customers within the niche that I'm going for about the idea of my product. And what I received was a lot of hate. There was a lot of backlash, but I also received a lot of love and a lot of interest. And so by me putting myself out there, being vulnerable about my ideas, taking in the hate, I have done something that not a lot of people are willing to do. Not a lot of people actually reach out to their customers that they're thinking about when they're starting their business, if they ever start their business. Usually, your business is just a half-baked idea in your head, and that's all it'll ever be. Very few people take the step to actually build something. But that's what I'm doing. And it comes down to that hardworking mindset that you need. The innovative, entrepreneurial, sales-oriented mindset. And so it doesn't matter if this business works out. It doesn't matter if there's backlash towards my product. What matters is I'm taking action with my life. I am taking action to become the main character in my own story, not the side character in somebody else's. I want to live my own dream, not the dream of some executive at some corporation. You need to do the same. Life is not going to give you opportunities for free. You need to make immense sacrifices. I hunkered down for 3 years in university, building projects that no one talked about or saw, studying my ass off for classes that I would never think about again after finishing them, and building relationships with people who I really don't care about. But it was these things that laid the foundation for me to get to the point where I am, where now I'm spreading my wings. Now I have the opportunities of research jobs, of internships, of starting my own business. And it was because I laid the foundation earlier that now I have these opportunities. So going back to the original topic, these are the kind of people that are your competition. I'm your competition. The people who are at my internship with me, they're your competition. They are relentless. They do not have social lives. They work and work and work. So that's all I have to say in this video. I'm going to talk about this a lot more, and also the dangers of outsourcing on our jobs, because there are people who are willing to work for pennies on the dollar for more hours than you. And that is also another one of your threats. But I'll leave that for another video, because I just want to focus on the exact topic at hand of your direct competition when you're getting an internship. So please let me know what you think. These are just my thoughts off the top of my head. These are the people who I'm talking to, and these are the impressions that I'm getting. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.